What's going on, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Gojira, entitled Le Font Sauvage. This is released on Roadrunner Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Bayonne, France, and really, this is a band that has an almost unidentifiable style of extreme metal, because they blend so many different musical elements. Like, for some instances, you can feel elements of some avant-garde, some progressive metal, some death metal, some bits and pieces of groove and thrash. But all in all, that's the kind of sound you would get when you listen to Gojira. I first heard of this band about 3 years ago when they came out with their most recent album, which was The Way of All Flesh. That was my first proper introduction to them. And I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was just mesmerized by how heavy and crushing the music was. I mean, songs like Wolf Down the Earth and Toxic Garbage Island, those songs are just very, very well crafted. Musically, lyrically, it's just heavy. I absolutely loved it. And in some ways, I treated The Way of All Flesh as a gateway to their previous works. I slowly started all the way from the currently all the way to the back. I then heard albums like From Mars to Sirius, which I thought was awesome. The Link, I thought was even more awesome. And their debut album, Terra Incognita, I thought that was just pure genius. Just a great, great crushing record. And throughout the years, they sort of have gotten a lot more well-known, a lot more popularized. And that really, really came to a head earlier when they made the announcement that they signed to Roadrunner Records. And in a way, I was happy for them, but at the same time, I kind of had a little bit of skepticism about it. I didn't know if they were going to potentially change their sound and try to be something that they're not, or try to keep the same sound that they've known how to do and how to make it more accessible to a newer audience, because they're on a bigger label with a lot of well-known bands and acts and stuff. So I just decided to wait until I was able to listen to this album. I know it was recently streaming about a week ago. I gave that a few proper listens, and now it's out today for everyone to get. And the question is, were my expectations met? I would have to say yes to a certain extent. The guitars here are your usual Gojira guitar, very, very heavy. I really love the crunchiness and the attention to details in the riffs, just the way the rhythms are. It's just delivered very, very well. I love the way that they sound. I love the way that it's played. It's crushing, but yet when it has the opportunity to hold itself back to be a little bit calmer, I really enjoy the way the riffs are. I mean, take the opening track, Explosia. You really get the feeling that this is a Gojira record once you listen to that song, or once you listen to the diversity in the song Planned Obsolescence. Said that wrong, sorry, but really some creative stuff going on with the riffs here. Bass-wise, the bass is incredibly audible and dominant throughout this entire record. I love the tone of it. I just love the way that it's played. It's not too loud, but it's loud enough to where you can feel it creep in with the guitars being played. I really, really enjoy that. I think it's fantastic. And to me, it's probably one of the best parts about this record is the bass guitar. Just how groovy it is. Drum-wise, it's your usual Gojira drum work. I really enjoy the syncopation. I love the speed. I love the fact that it can verge from very, very avant-garde to very, very skull-crushing. The very fast and well-footed double bass. I just love the way that the rolls sound. The snare and tom sound really good. Just the way the cymbals sound. It's a very, very well-structured drum performance. I love the speeds of everything. The faster moments to the even more melodic and progressive moments on this record. It's really, really awesome. And vocal-wise, it's Gojira. If you are familiar with the Gojira vocal style on previous records, the vocals seem to switch between a very raspy, rugged kind of a high scream to a more melodic but yet harsh style of singing. And you're going to get a little bit of a lot of both here. The high growls on here work very, very well. And the melodic kind of growls work really well too. They're almost catchy to a certain extent. I mean, Joseph's vocals are just really, really awesome. And really, it just shows his intelligence as a vocalist and as a song and lyric writer. It's really, really awesome. I'm not going to lie, it's a challenging listen upon the first listen of this record. You need to really make some time and effort to listen to it. And it may tire you out at first, but give it a few more listens and it'll grow on you. It grew on me. I should also mention, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are 2 additional bonus tracks if you get the, I'm pretty sure it's available on special editions or iTunes or download or whatever you call it. There's some pretty good solid bonus tracks if you ever hear them. But overall, this is an album that exceeded my expectations. Not so much exceeded, but it met my expectations. I think this is a really, really solid Gojira record. Do I think this is their best album? I wouldn't say so. I still think albums like Terra Incognita and From Mars to Sirius are some of their best works. But if you're a Gojira fan, you probably will get some enjoyment out of this. I really don't know what the majority reaction has been to it. I know some people like it. I know some people haven't really been too fond of it. But overall, this is a Gojira record. I expected it to be a Gojira record, and it sounds exactly like a Gojira record. I really, really enjoyed it, and here's hoping that they continue to get their name out there more, and they continue to get more respect in the metal scene. Some of my favorite tracks on this album include Explosia, The Axe, that's a great song, Planned Obsolescence, Pain is a Master, and some of the closing tracks, Born in Winter and the Fall, where it seems to verge into being more progressive. I think it really works well for this band. So, again, the album is Le Font Sauvage by Gojira. This is released on Roadrunner Records. Go pick it up if you want. And for the time being, I'm going to give this a strong 8 out of 10. Really, really solid album from Gojira. And here's hoping better can be done from them in the future. So 8 out of 10, check out Gojira. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Armijo out.